Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 26 of Ace Attorney Investigations. Last time, we proved that basically the whole crime scene that we saw, it was set up by a third person who wanted to basically kill Merle and Faraday and basically make it look like a double murder, but we discovered it was all false. We broke through Franziska's testimony. We're breaking through who's claimed that Gumshoe did and is placing him under suspicion. Yeah, this is the game of Gumshoe just being suspected of murder. We are looking for someone with a reason to kill both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. I can think of at least one person that fits the bill. He was the suspect in the original KG8 incident, and a member of the Cordobian Embassy staff, Mr. Manny Cochran. That's right, the very man who came to visit you earlier and in the hallway. The man who killed a member of the Cordobian Embassy staff, Mr. Rell, and the man who was the lead prosecutor for the KG8 incident, Mr. Faraday. Are you telling me that Mr. Cochran has no reason at all to kill both of these men? Well, I suppose he might have had a reason or two.
You coming for me, pal? I will worship you like the god you are! Hail, Mr. Edgeworth! Maybe you're not such a bad guy after all!
Don't get ahead of yourself. You're still a suspect. Make no mistake about it. The perfect evidence, the perfect testimony, these are the only things I wish to hold.
But I didn't do it!
You will stay under my authority and go investigate Mr. Manny Cochran for me. And remember, I will not be very forgiving should any of this leak.
You want to investigate Cochran? You'd just be wasting your time.
And why is that?
Cochran was up in the viewing gallery watching the trial, or so I was told. Every cop in this place has been keeping an eye on the guy since he arrived.
Then the only real suspect we have is still Detective Gumshoe. I suppose so.
No way! Come on, Detective Bad! You gotta believe me, soy! I really wasn't that hallway the whole time, soy! I never took a single step into this room, soy!
Okay, then are you saying there was someone else who passed through the hallway?
No, there was no one else, soy!
Then why should I believe you didn't do it? Me and my unblinking eyes. That is one incredibly foolish detective. I will enjoy cutting his pay several years from now. Standing right in front of a crime scene all by himself. It's as good as a confession of guilt. I have to admit it's a bit strange. Most criminals will fabricate some sort of lie to escape their crimes. And if that detective really wanted to prove that he is innocent, you'd think he would have at very least offered up eye-spaced out while on duty or the like.
Come on, Gumshoe, time for your interrogation. No! I don't want to go!
Don't. Oh my god, do you think Bad would be a little concerned about, like, trusting Gumshoe in an interrogation room with Manfred? After what happened in IS-7.
Detective Bad!
And the judge is looking aggro.
You get out of my sight, detective! Don't make me hurt you, detective! I'll swing my gavel at you! I'll make Mr. Edgeworth push you!
Miles Edgeworth, I will go ahead and report this to Papa and take all the credit.
And that, as they say, is that. Right, everyone? Gumshoe was arrested and is going to be scarred for life.
Well, I suppose we both should be getting back to our real jobs now, huh? Before we do, Miss Yu, there's something I'd like to speak with you about. What is it?
TV!
Can I watch Steel Samurai on this? Can I watch the Signal Samurai on? The television is left on to preserve the crime scene, of course. And it will stay on until the police are finished with their investigation. Do they think nothing of saving electricity? How bothersome. So, what do you want to ask me about?
Prosecutor's badge.
It's a shame that we will not be able to face each other. It was to be my first trial to... Oh, it was the oh, right, yeah, we already went through this. Sorry. Okay, get through that. Come on. Okay, come on. KGA incident. The current case of all the credit Cordobian Embassy staff The current case of the murdered Condopian embassy staff member. I've heard that people have begun calling it the second KG8 incident. Only amongst you law enforcement types. And what about it? I'd like for you to tell me everything you know about the original KG8 incident. I'm afraid I can't help you. I don't know anything beyond what I was reported in the papers. No, I believe you know much more, since you are directly tied to the KG8 incident. I'd appreciate if you'd stop with the false accusations. Baseless outbursts are useless to both inside and outside the courtroom, don't you know? I do, but I also know that I do have a leg to stand on here. You think you can stop making that ultra face and flatter me? If you could please stop laughing for just 1 second. I'm not going to make any headway like this. I'm just going to have to show her exactly how related to the KG8 incident she is. Okay, we basically have to show. Yeah, as you can see, paper, CCU. Miss Yu, I believe that I have proof of your connection to the KG8 incident. That 5 is your proof, very well then. Why don't you tell me exactly how I'm related to the KG8 incident? Through the victim. Your connection to the KG8 incident is through the victim. The victim's name is CCU. You will note that she has the same last name as you. Can you really tell me with a straight face that you are not related to this case? Sorry, but we're not related. What? Just kidding. You asked the question with such a serious look on your face that I couldn't help but... Miss Yu, I ask that you please tell me the truth. Ahem. Alright, I'll tell you everything I know. As you guessed, the one who reported the smuggling activities to the Amano group was my sister, CCU, as I thought. And she was killed right before she was to testify at the impending trial by Manny Cochran. But because he was tried once and was acquitted, he gets to live out the rest of his cushy life completely carefree. All because of a lack of evidence. No, I heard that the evidence to convict him did exist. What? I heard it from Mr. Faraday himself after Mr. Cochran's trial was over. Apparently a man in black made off with the most important piece of evidence. Then the evidence had been tampered with. Isn't it just like a criminal do something like that? The smuggling being run out of the Amano group by one of its secretaries. They bailed Mr. Cochran out. Turns out they were in league with each other all along. How big was that smuggling? Was it a large operation? I don't really know. Which is why I wanted to become the lead defense on this case that people are calling the second KGA incident. But I haven't learned anything new at all. I was probably expecting too much, I know. You mean you think this case has nothing to do with the smuggling ring? I don't know what to think. Why did Mr. Cochran want to meet with you earlier? Actually, he came to watch the trial. Apparently, he only found out that I was the defense lawyer on this case after he'd arrived. He figured he should say hi and one other thing. Looks like you couldn't resolve anything this time either. Too bad.
Ha ha! I laugh at your face. You get nothing. You can't figure anything out. I am sly. I am sleek. I go down in the street and no one sees me. I see no one. Looky here. I am Manny Cochran. I go around. I clap my hands together slowly in the shadows.
What's that supposed to mean?
Hey boy, stop it with the scary face already.
I'm fine, really. I'll give him a good slap across the face. The way she talks about slapping him as she laughs away is kind of creepy. Yeah, you just laughing away, just constantly slapping Meg.
Oh, why are you slapping me? I don't like this. Stop slapping me.
I'm enjoying this so much. Just slapping him over and over, beating him, throwing her mirror at him. But it's just as Mr. Bard says, he's not related to the double murder. All his surrounding people in the gallery claim that he was in his seat the entire time. Talk about cruel fate. Well, just about all I know. Yeah, sorry. Guess I wasn't much help, huh? That's not true. I'm sorry I made you recall such a painful time in your life. Edgeworth, you really are too serious for your own good. You really need to learn to relax. We wouldn't want you to die of stress, would we? Thank you for the advice, but there's no need to worry. I work in my own way, and I will catch this criminal in my own way as well. You'll see. Look at you with your game face all ready to go. I'm making no such face. Yes, you are. Did you know laughter's the best medicine, Edgeworth? Don't you get tired of making such a serious face all the time? I'm charged with making sure that all the criminals of this world are found guilty for my daddy who died in an elevator. I have no need for laughter. I am Batman. I am the Mockingbird. There you go, making that face again. Oh well. I've got to get going. I've still got a few loose ends I need to tie up. KGA incident and this murder investigation. It's my belief that these two cases are related to each other somehow. Plus that Detective Gumshoe. It's obvious he's lying, even though that lie is hurting his chances. Clearly, this case is far from over. But whether or not that detective is the murderer can only be determined once I've completed my perfect investigation. Mr. Valcom, I swear to uphold your honorable name, or my name isn't Miles Edgeworth. Well, like I said, it's just so ironic. Just so ironic. No, we are not saving the game. September 10th, 4:45 p.m. District Court, 3rd floor lobby. Oh yeah, this discussion right here. This discussion is actually pretty good. It has some good insight as to just Manfred's nature in general. Sir, what is to become of the trial into the Colopian emissary staff members' murder? Indeed, since both of the suspects and the prosecutor are now dead, I will take it on! The case will be dismissed. In other words, the trial ends here prematurely. Do you think Manfred would just hijack the trial itself? I will make perfection where there was flaw. I will right the wrongs that Faraday has made. I will clean the stain that he has left on the prosecutor's office. Huh? Looks like you'll have to wait just a bit longer for your big debut. Huh? I suppose it can't be helped. The evidence for this trial will be transferred to you in the needs a while. Sir, what do you think about the murder of the Colopian embassy staff member? I don't care about him! And the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rock. Well, like with the Colopian embassy staff member, I don't care! Sorry, lunch. But as for Faraday, I'm more than happy to see him go. He was weak, he was a fool, he was holding us all back! What an outrageous circus it has all become. All Faraday's fault. That Faraday brought it all upon himself with his naivete. An outrageous circus? Right, sir. I go weary of this topic. Edgeworth, I will have you assigned to a different case. Papa, you'll come and watch my courtroom debut next, won't you? I'll consider it. Really, that's just the sad part where Manfred, he just sees, he loves Edgeworth more than Franziska, and he hates Edgeworth! Because just notice how Manfred, he goes out of his way to see Edgeworth's first trial. Sure, but yet Franziska, she gets a maybe. Not to mention Manfred, he's choosing Edgeworth over Franziska to investigate a crime scene. Sure, you could argue, oh, Manfred wanted to set Edgeworth up to fail. He wanted to really just revel in his victory over Gregory. But still, the fact that Edgeworth is getting more preferential treatment than Franziska, just this maybe on his face. Sir, if I may, please allow me to continue with my investigation. However, like I said, don't let it fool you. Manfred does dislike Edgeworth. Though, I have to say that Manfred, it's complex in that I believe that just Manfred, in a way, has some inkling of respect and liking to Edgeworth. After all, Manfred did raise Edgeworth to become a prosecutor. He didn't just throw Edgeworth away. He basically hopes that Edgeworth maintains the Von Karma family name. So really, and not to mention Manfred, it is speculated that Manfred doesn't have any sons. So really, like, Edgeworth is the closest thing Manfred has to a son, funny enough. It's theorized in the fan community that Franziska has an older sister, which is who basically is the mother of who basically is the parent of the child that Manfred referred to as his granddaughter in the first game. Whatever for. I know there's already a suspect in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Well. However, there's not enough evidence to prove that it was he who committed the crime. I'd like to continue investigating in order to find the perfect proof of his guilt. The perfect proof?
Don't make me laugh! A worthless person like you has no right to claim such a thing as perfection! You're like your father! You have depended on the genes! I can try to purge it, but you will never be perfect! You will only be semi-perfect, Miles!
I can just imagine that's basically what Manfred was every night before he go to bed.
Good night, Miles.
Good night, sir.
Oh, Miles?
Yes, sir?
You are worthless!
Yes, sir. Papa? Who do you think is the real culprit behind these murders?
I don't know!
Miles and I, we're competing to see who can find the real killer first. Plus, being able to investigate a real crime scene is a really rare opportunity. It would give us some real-life experience, wouldn't you agree?
If you want to investigate this case that much, then do as you wish.
Then you're allowing us to continue?
In court, your top priority is to win, and a solid investigation is one of the keys to winning. We have to make sure you become recognized as a first-rate prosecutor, don't we? It wouldn't be very interesting. Otherwise, 15 years of planning would go down the drain!
Though, the way I see it, Manfred's original plan was essentially to make Edgeworth into a full-on mini-me. Essentially, make Edgeworth into the perfect prosecutor. Edgeworth never loses. Edgeworth essentially becomes Manfred and just goes on living the rest of his life as essentially Manfred. Essentially just stating the reputation of Gregory Edgeworth forever. However, upon seeing Edgeworth lose not one but 2 cases, Manfred just felt, oh,
Edgeworth, he is not perfect. He is less perfect than I thought. Even more so because he wasn't perfect. He wasn't my blood child.
So basically, yeah. So Manfred, he basically then came up with this convoluted plan to just get Yanni Yogi to basically murder Hammond.
I'm returning home now. Edgeworth, Franziska, see to die not to stab. Save the result of your competition.
Yes, sir. Of course, Papa. Franziska, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Your logic earlier was built on the Tsundere detective's lie. That means the competition is still on. Yes, just as you wished. I couldn't let you get off so easily. Now then, let's see how well you fare in the investigation here, Miles Edgeworth. I know I don't have enough information yet. So my first order of business will be to question anyone involved in this case. And investigate with Franzi, literally. Just we get little Franzi. This is wonderful. Just Edgeworth and Franziska investigating. Yes, what is it? We gotta Gary talk about. It feels like there's a whole backside to this case we're not seeing. And here we had thought that it was a case where the two men had killed each other. We're lacking information. As upon karma, I can hardly call this a perfect investigation. Indeed, this is as you say. I can't believe we agree on something. I feel gross, Miles Edgeworth. I feel icky. Just what's so revolting about agreeing? Anyways, our first move should be to speak with everyone related to this case. Indeed, even if you had not said it, I was planning to do so anyways. Ah! What was that lash for? Prosecutor's badge. Do you think you can win this competition by simply showing that to me? Yes. Not at all. In fact, I was planning to thank you. I wouldn't be a prosecutor today without you and your father. I didn't really do much. You became a prosecutor first, that's all. But just you wait and see, Miles Edgeworth. Very soon, I'll be a prosecutor too. Good, then we can both send criminals away together as colleagues. But you can be sure that I will always get more convictions than you. It's almost cute that she's going this far to insist that she'll always win. Almost. And count on the pen. I was wondering what you think of this piece of evidence. Asking me for help is breaking the rules, Miles. As I said earlier, this is a competition, a battle of wits. If you want to ask someone for an opinion, you should start with yourself. In other words, you have no real opinions about this piece of evidence, do you? Let's start investigating. I can't stop the water, sir! It seems that the man who was here earlier broke it by drinking it too much. Bunch of fools who pretend to not see the foolishly foolish actions of a foolish fool. Well then, why don't you lend the officer a hand? As I should have anything to do with this. Besides, that water-drinking fool's mouth is the thing that officer should be covering. Let's give that officer a description of the water guzzler later. She seems to have quite the grudge. It sounds to me like someone wanted a drink. Yes, like father, like daughter. It's an incredibly detailed model, isn't it? I heard that it cost as much to make as it cost to build the courthouse itself. What was the proof of point of making such an expensive model? I felt the exact same way upon hearing it. It's so hard to understand such foolishness. Agreed. Sir, nothing report, sir. Is there no one who will make this man take responsibility for his actions on the job? Looks like we have no choice but to report this to Papa. Then, this god can have fun and walk in a waking nightmare after being awakened from his dream. Actually, let's not. I kind of feel sorry for him now. Oh, we can go here. It's the witness stand. I'll make sure that each and every person that ever stands here will be found guilty. What about the witnesses, Franziska? There are others besides the defendant that stand at this podium. I don't care. Just make sure you never end up standing at one of these. Or you'll be sorry. I'll keep that in mind. Funny enough, Franziska's the one who's more sorry that we're so behind behind one of these podiums. Examine. It's a defense attorney's bench. I'd probably be standing on this side of the courtroom if that incident hadn't happened. If my daddy wasn't dead! What are you thinking about? Lately, the more wrinkly your face becomes, the less I'm able to read what you're thinking. Well, I never! All of you know I don't have a single wrinkle upon my youthful brow. Any day now, I'll be taking my rightful place behind this bench. By that time, I should already be standing here. I'd be downright disgraceful if I beat you to it, wouldn't it? If that would happen, Franziska, I'll eat my cravat. I am the judge! This must be the judge's desk. You can tell by the gavel sitting on top. I had a dream once that I was being squashed from above this gavel. So Edgeworth and Phoenix are sharing the same nightmares? Nightmare pooling? You're such a weakling, Miles Edgeworth. You have no idea how frightening it was. Just nightmare judge. With that music, and for some reason, that classical music song was playing. You know that da 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 da. It wasn't me, I tell you! I didn't do anything wrong! Yes, I understand, so let's just calm down, okay, buddy? Don't call me buddy, pal! I doubt I get anything useful from the detective while he's this agitated. It's you. Oh, it's you, Edgeworth, and who are you? Wait, you were at the crime scene just now, weren't you? You should be disbarred for not knowing who I am! I am Franziska von Karma, and I am about to become the successor to the family name! About to? I guess that means that for now you're still just another kid. Burn! Snap, snap, snap! In which case, it's only natural that I didn't know who you are. What? Why are you hitting me? Anyways, it looks like they're planning to hold the evidence a bit longer. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's waiting. I'm very sorry, but I have a few more questions to ask of you. Look at you, almost scratched with the lines on your forehead. And that's to ask of you. What exactly is so funny? Sorry, I'm just bad at dealing with the super serious atmosphere. Apparently they failed to teach you proper behavior at the crime scene in law school. I feel much better now, so what is it you want to talk about? I'd like to inquire as to where you were at the time of the murder. We were in defense lobby number 1 the whole time up until we heard the gunshot. And by we, I mean Mr. Bade. If you don't believe me, feel free to ask him yourself. You were with Detective Bad. Why? We had a little something to discuss, that's all. So, I take it you are acquainted with Detective Bad. Yeah, he was the detective in charge of the KIGA incident. Detective Bad is also related to that incident? That's right, he was the one who was supposed to protect my sister, Cece. But you know how that turned out, don't you, Edgeworth? Miles Edgeworth, I have no idea what you two are talking about. I've heard of the KGA incident from my papa. But how does that case relate to you, Miss Yu? The victim of that case, Cece Yu, was my little sister. You're making that super serious face again. I'm fine, really. I'll just make it a point to rub some more salt in his wounded pride every time I see him. The way she talks about doing that as she laughs away is kind of creepy. Oh, speaking of Mr. Bide, he and Mr. Faraday, I'd say they made up just about every single time the Yardgrass made a move. It was practically a given that the two would meet up at every one of the crime scenes. I see, he did mention that he was in charge of the Yardgrass investigation earlier. Maybe I should ask her what she knows about the Yardgrass in more detail. Time order. We'll get through all of Yu's conversations and then we'll end the episode off. You claim that at the time of the matter, you were with Detective Bad. But don't you lawyers usually discuss the trial with your clients during a recess? We do, and that's what I was planning on doing. But Mr. Faraday was being rather threatening and dragged Mr. Rell away. After that, Mr. Bad came into lobby number 1, so we just stayed in there and talked. And what did you talk with Detective Bad about? Nothing interesting. I just insulted Sam. Talked about how the trial was going, and then I insulted him some more. Bloody! Where? When she's not laughing, her mouth seemingly spews nothing but insults. Anyways, Mr. Bad and I were in the defendant lobby number 1 when the murders occurred. So I really can't tell you anything about the hallway or lobby number 2. I see. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your client, Mr. Macro. Now, your client first claimed to be the Yardgrass, is that correct? Yeah. Once I heard that it was the Yardgrass that made off with the evidence from KJ8, I began to ask Mr. Rell all sorts of questions, but to no avail. Turns out Mr. Rell was not the Yardgrass. He had just made that up. He made it up? Mr. Rell's crime was caught on tape by the security cameras, but there's no footage of him sneaking into the Cadopian embassy himself. Hold on. What the heck is wrong with my Franziska voice? Like I was going between two different voices. Hold on for just 1 second. Then you mean to say that you knew that he was not the real Yardgrass, and that he was just another cold-blooded killer, and you were ready to defend him? Yes, that's right. I see. So a defense lawyer is actually just someone whose job is to cover for criminals. My daddy was a lie! My daddy lied to me! That's why defense lawyers are so detestable, but they are no match for us fun karmas. Oh my gosh, just Franziska, just treating it like her and Edgeworth against the nasty defense attorneys. It's adorable. I never believe you're serious! Why don't you save that face for something really worth being serious about? And Edgeworth, do you remember what I said earlier? I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KJ8 incident, alright? And for that you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer! Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get to close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering from him ever, so don't you dare suggest that's what I was going to do. I'm sorry, forgive my rashness. Yardgrass. Monsieur, I was wondering if you could please tell me about the Yardgrass. The Yardgrass, huh? I don't really know much about that character myself, but I do get a local consultation request from companies to defend them. Requests from companies? The Yardgrass is in some petty theft out for money, you know. Alright then, perhaps the Yardgrass is in the business of stealing people's lives. You're not very funny or witty, are you, little Miss Von Karma? Franziska, be careful about who you whip! Choose carefully or very soon, but no! There, I chose carefully. I just like you wanted. That just was hilarious, little Messi. Of course it was. What is wrong with these two women? Why does my pain give them delight? And so what in the end? What the Yardgrass? I have to say I had never even heard of this thief when I was in Germany. When Yardgrass deals with Yardgrass deals in information, namely digging out data about backroom dealings and the likes of companies. The Yardgrass is a vigilante who steals such info and then makes it public for all to see. Vigilante or no, this person sounds like just another criminal to me. I suppose you could put it that way too. But either way, I get a lot of more clients now thanks to that thief. Sounds like Miss Yu is profiting nicely. I suppose I'll go on all I can. I miss you, and I think that we've gotten all we can out of this video. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around and watched this episode. You're a great viewer. Hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever that you want. And with that, I'll see you later. Bye.